250 to 300 years ago, what did it mean to settle in this area? Why would a community of people create a new life here in what would later become Indiana? Where did they first settle? Let's learn more about early Indiana settlements. Michelle Greenan, our Director of Archaeology, will tell us more about Native American settlements and how things changed as the Europeans arrived. Kisha Tandy, our Curator of Social History, will tell us the stories of Black pioneers here in Indiana.
When early Europeans stepped foot in Indiana soil, Native American communities had built up these vast communities throughout the state. They were living wherever they wanted to live, near big waterways and hunting in vast hunting grounds, knowing where all the resources were that they could use. Early Europeans, mostly French traders, were coming into Indiana and they became part of the trade. The fur trade was very, very active, and what they were able to do was work within those already established vast networks. So those first settlers that were coming in Indiana, they were living amongst, often marrying Native American partners and creating strong allegiances and strong, not only economic ties, but family ties at the same time. So it's very different than what we would see later on when Americans would really want the land. Most of these histories are coming to us from early European historians, so the Jesuit missionaries, or settlers who have written stuff down in their journals. So it can be really quite skewed towards that perspective. So understanding this early connection between Native American communities and European communities has been really skewed. But we've been working more and more with Native American historians who are helping to put that story right so we can make our understanding of this important period of time in history more authentic.
We know that by 1860, there were at least 20 Black settlements in Indiana. One of those settlements is Lick Creek. In 1860, the population of Lick Creek was 260 individuals. We know as early as 1817, Blacks were purchasing land at Lick Creek. William Constant and Charles Goins were two of the earlier individuals who purchased land. Elias and Nancy Roberts were free Blacks whose fathers gained freedom fighting in the Revolutionary War. They came to Indiana in the 1820s hoping for a better life. We have artifacts from the farm. These artifacts reflect that they were solidly rural, that they had middle-class values, and the objects also indicate that the members of the family were literate, armed, and owned horses. The lasting impact of the Black settlements here in Indiana is that there were Black pioneers in the state. Indiana was a place where they could find some freedom. Some came with Quakers, some came as part of family connections. Having those connections to other individuals helped to bring additional Black pioneers and settlers to the state of Indiana. It is important to share these stories to help tell the complete story of Black history in Indiana.
Indiana's earliest residents set the beginning framework for our state. If we consider their lasting impact to our communities, what do you think will be our lasting impact to future Indiana citizens in 200 years?